you show up in something is how you do everything. And so for me, it's always been about showing up 100%. And in those days that I don't feel 100%, I'll let someone know I'm not 100% there. I was like, bet I'm gonna finish this basically in like a quarter was my intent. It took me 2 quarters to get through it. It was because I was being intentional about reflecting and thinking of those questions, the answers to the questions that were being asked. While I didn't get the me vacation, that was me time. That was me and God's time. That was time for me to think about how I'm growing spiritually, how I'm growing when it comes to just better understanding my word. What's up, Bold Move Besties? It is Claudia here, and we are getting into a real chill episode of She Built Success. So I wanted to talk about just truly relaxing, taking downtime. I've talked about before, making sure you take time for yourself, making sure you're pouring into yourself as well as into others, but, being aware of how you're showing up, how you're being present. So today I wanted to talk about how I do that and some of my misses for the year as far as what commitments I've made for myself and I actually broke. So for me, when I go into a year, I typically plan out my vacation, like I literally call it a me vacation, a couple's vacation, so me and my partner, a family vacation with my immediate family, and then an extended family vacation. So, larger than my immediate family and bringing my extended family. And I checked all the boxes except for the me vacation this year. And at the time of this recording anyway, we're coming up to the end of 2024. But I part of the reason why I had the me vacation scheduled. However, schedules, calendars, life happened, and I had to defer it. And so I was like, bet I was going to do it still towards the end of summer, my me vacation. And I ended up having to push it again. And that was for a family commitment that we had. So I was like, okay, well, when can I do it? Well, once the kids start their fall sports, it makes it difficult for me to take a me vacation. So I typically do, for some context, my me vacations either toward the end of the kids' school year because cheer season is done, volleyball season is done usually by the end of the fall. And so I'll do it either then or I'll do it at some point in the summer. I typically don't like to do summer because it's just, I want to spend time with the kids and whatnot. But those are kind of the two bookends of where I try to plan the me vacation. And in both of those cases, it didn't work for this year. And so I was like, okay, so how can I reassess and think about how I can do a me vacation? And because I know I need to slow down sometimes. Everybody should slow down sometimes. I'm a push-go person, but we all have our times, our moments where we need to actually go ahead and just pause, right? And for me, I needed to pause. I know I need to pause. I still haven't taken that me vacation. And so it's like, okay, so how can I plan that? And I usually my me vacations, I like to be like a 5-day stretch. But what I've entertained is for it to be like a 3-day. So like a full Friday, a full Saturday, a full Sunday, come back Monday. And so I'm trying to now figure out where in the schedule between cheer comp, cheer practice, and volleyball I can do that. So that is where I'm at. And I'm saying that because a lot of times it's glamorized that, you could just drop things and go, so to speak, or you can take off when you want. I've never been that type of person. I'm more the type of person who I look at everybody's schedule. So my family, the kids, my extended family, work, and client, commitments and demands. I look at the whole of it. I can't just drop something and just go. And I don't think I'd actually function probably that way because it's not scheduled. I'm not so much a spur of the moment when it comes to those kinds of things. I like to plan it and I like to make sure the kids are good. My partner's fine. Client work is at a point where I can transition out to take some downtime. And so I recognize that right now I'm not as, I know I need the time to just, like I said, have those few days. And so it's really just figuring out when. And I guess now I want to talk about like where I go or what I like to do. So I know a lot of people like beaches. I hate beaches. It's too hot. I hate the sand. It gets everywhere. I typically prefer bourbon, so I'm not like I'll drink like a mojito or a margarita or, something like that. But I don't want all the sugar and crap in it. I drink bourbon. I'll drink it neat. I'll drink it straight, and I'll be good. And so for me, I don't like the beaches, even though my mom's Jamaican, and we've been to Jamaica plenty, but it's just so hot. It's like, just keep me in the air condition. So I like to actually go in the mountains. That could be mountains with snow, even though I don't want to really drive in the snow, but I do like the picturesque nature of what it looks like. That feels relaxing and calming to me. I like mountains in the spring because it's nice and green. I like being by a lake. For me, it's all like calm, and there's like a peace in the serenity. You can listen to the water, and you can listen to the water and the waves on the beach. I know, I get it, but like I said, this is just not my jam. And so for me, I like to retreat into the mountains. It's funny when I was looking up, so I tend to look out and look up places, whether they're Airbnbs or other boutique type hotels or resort getaway type places in the mountains. And I was looking at a few, and I had to chuckle to myself because whenever I would look, I'll say this about, well, I won't call the platform out. Whenever I would look, I couldn't search the way I wanted to search. Like I think you could say like lakefront and like mountain views, but then I would see like cabins that look like they had an outhouse, and I'm like, I don't want that stuff. It's not my jam. I'm a lot more bougie is what my kids would say or my mom would say, but I like the amenities of things, and so it would be a nicer, more elevated experience. And so for me, when I seek out places in the mountains, it's like the place where I like the all glass looking. Now, I would never myself have an all glass house. That's kind of odd for me, but I like the look of it. I like the natural light coming in. I like being able to just take my time in the mornings, and we're not, trying to not scramble, but, rush for the morning, getting ready for school or getting ready for a commitment. And so for me, that downtime in the mountains allows me to reflect. It allows me to start. I don't do a lot of work. I will say, I'm not a silent retreat type of a person. Like I need to go and be in solitude, like no noise, no phone, no tech. No, that's not it. But at the same time, I don't spend that me vacation doing a lot of work. So like I have the me vacation, and then I actually have time where I get away to go plan for business growth, plan for the nonprofit, plan for our family and things like that. I do have moments of those, but it's not the same as the me vacation. For me, my me vacation sometimes involves like prayer and fasting. So like for the duration that I'm in that time, I'm doing that. I do like different devotionals, and one of the these are all devotionals. So one of the most recent devotionals that I did was Elijah, and that's by Priscilla Schreier. And I did it because like a few years ago, that was placed on my heart to study Elijah and understand. I didn't know why exactly at the time, like why I was like, why do I need to study Elijah? But as the years have progressed, it's kind of been unveiled a little bit more. And so I studied Elijah in I forget the author's name for that book that I had studied originally. It was recommended to me by a friend that's a pastor. But this year I picked up Elijah by Priscilla Schreier, that devotional. And okay, so I got to show you the devotional because it actually says, you can't see it probably, but this part here was gold, and it said Elijah. But I like take it in my bag. I have it on my nightstand. I take it downstairs when I'm in my home office. I take it down with me to my home office. Like it goes everywhere with me. It's so much so I didn't recognize until, I don't know, towards the end of the devotional where all the gold is gone. So if you're looking for the book, it's not all black. It does have gold, Elijah. Mine is it's truly worn, and I'm thankful for it. And I like this particular devotional because it allows me to, the way she set it up, it's very much reading various scriptures, and it's not just the scriptures surrounding Elijah, but there's different points in it and elements in it, and she's explaining and breaking down the journey and the story of Elijah, but it has a lot of questions that allow for reflection and introspection. So things like that is what I do in my me vacations. When I'm praying, when I'm fasting, is really reflecting in that regards, and I'm writing. And so I have this tablet. It's an e-ink notebook. It's called Supernote. And it's where I have literally everything, my journals, my daily devotionals, my client notes, like everything is in it. It is my jam. And I use that to reflect, and I get to, at the end of the year, I'll combine it all and make it a PDF, and then I can, do like handwriting keyword search type things if I need to look for something. I also use it as a journal too. But anyway, I'm saying that to say that when I was going through the Elijah book, the devotional, and just the different scriptures and the stories, and just getting deeper in it all, there was a lot of questions in the book that caused me. There was some times where I was reading and the questions were asked, and I was like, I don't even know how to answer that. I don't know if I have a real feeling or opinion for that question. And so I'd have to like literally just not continue. I'd pause that devotional, and it's a 7-week devotional, I believe. It's a 7-week devotional, and you have each of your days. It's like 1 through 5, and you could do it as a group if you so chose to do it. I did it by myself, but it took me. I was like, bet I'm gonna finish this basically in like a quarter was my intent. It took me 2 quarters to get through it. And it was because I was being intentional about reflecting and thinking of those questions, the answers to the questions that were being asked. And while I didn't get the me vacation, that was me time. That was me and God's time. That was time for me to think about how I'm growing spiritually, how I'm growing when it comes to just better understanding my word. And the questions were just really thought-provoking. I come across a number of devotionals. I like to do devotionals. I found over the most recent, like I say, 2 to 3 years, I love reading, and being able to kind of look at the types of books that I read. I typically read, I'd say up until about 2 or 3 years ago, most of my repertoire were like business books. Business strategy, like that's my jam. I love reading those kinds of books. Some of them are inspirational, some of them are developmental, some of them, so they all had their different components or parts in business. But it over the last 2 to 3 years, it's definitely been more heavier in the devotionals, more heavier just in studying my word, more heavier in prayer. Like, and it's very interesting because I have like in my Supernote, I have like a book. What is it called? Like, you can track like the books that you read for the year. Like, I have a way to track that in my Supernote. And I was looking over the past few years, and I saw the shift. Now I still read business books, but I saw the shift from like heavy business and maybe a sprinkle of, some devotional of one book in a year, to majority of my books that I'm reading right now are devotional or faith based books, and then like now it's a sprinkle of like business. So it's very interesting just to see the shift or the development of where my focus has gone over the past few years. What's up, Bold Move besties? Guess what I'm offering? Government contract coaching for small businesses. It is your opportunity to get the real, the relevant, and the way to do government contracting correctly with the federal, local, and state government. Inside, you will get details on how to start in government contracting, all the way through winning your first contract, which is, by the way, not guaranteed, but we're trying to get you there. So if you're interested, please sign up in the link below, and I will catch you in the next cohort. And then the other 3 books that I have. So another one is a new one by Priscilla Schreier as well, and that one's I Surrender All. I haven't started that, but that's on my list to do. And then Jackie Hill Perry's Upon Waking, and then John Bevere's The Awe of God. So The Awe of God, I actually I heard about that one on a different podcast. It was Megan Ashley's In Totality podcast. I heard about that book, so it sounded interesting. So I was like, okay, I'll go check it out. And so I haven't started these 3 yet, but these are the next on my list. And I do one at a time. I try not to do like dual, because I want to be focused on that one. So yeah, I think that in general, just for me, devotional time is important, and I do it daily. I typically try to do it before. I do it after I exercise, before the kids have to get ready for school, or we have to leave to get to school. And I do that because for me, I want I prefer to do it at the beginning of my day. But there are times where realistically I can't for whatever reason, schedules or calendars or whatever. And so I end up doing it either when I come back from dropping off the kids. Occasionally I'll do it in the evening, but for me, in the evening, I don't feel as refreshed or I don't feel as focused. It feels like I almost feel like I like setting up my day with that quiet time, with that devotional time, with that focus. So I don't know. It's really, I wanted to share it because I feel like whatever your modality is for your you time, you need to make sure you make that time. And I had not done that as of yet. It's going to come. And I would say it does kind of show because sometimes I feel it's not burnout, but just tired. Like I'm tired. I don't, and not sleepy. Just I'm not as focused. I'm maybe shorter in response. I don't. Everybody get on my nerves, that kind of thing. And when I get to that point, it's like, okay, you need to step back and you need to think about what's causing this. And more often than not, it's because I haven't had the me time to just decompress, because really that's what I do. So I go away, I do my devotionals or prayer and fasting. Sometimes if I still cook. Like, I'm not the one to order the DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever. I actually cook. Nothing, nothing fancy. It's just me. But it just gives me time to think. Like, I'm the type of person when I'm in the car, and I know the kids probably don't like it, but I'm the type of person who I drive with nothing, no sound, no. And I'm sure, I mean, the kids could listen to their music. I mean, at this point, they put in their headphones, earphones, earbuds, whatever anyway. So it's like, it doesn't matter. But I've always been that way. Like, I just prefer it to be quiet because to me, that just gives me time to, whether it's in my head about these are the things that are going on for the day, or something that I'm just kind of reflecting on or thinking about. Like, it just gives me that time to just think, or sometimes to just converse with God, because we be talking all the time in the car. And so there's that. The other thing I wanted to mention, as far as like just being true to holding yourself accountable for the you time, is put it on the calendar. Like I told you, I put mine on the calendar. It's still on my calendar. I just need to shift it to when it's really going to happen, and I have to make it a little bit shorter. But make sure you're doing that. Write it out. Hold yourself. If you need to put it on a Post-it or stick it on a board so you'll remember to do it, do that, because otherwise you're just going to keep going and going, and you're either going to burn out, tap out, or get ill, which nobody wants. We got stuff to do. I think the other thing that I wanted to talk about was just how you show up in life. Yeah, I think y'all know I suck at quoting, but I think it's something like, how you show up in something is how you do everything. How you do this thing over here is going to be the same. So if you're half-assed doing something, and then you now want to go translate to another project and you go half-assed do that too, well, then what, right? And so for me, it's always been about showing up 100%. And in those days that I don't feel 100%, I'll let someone know I'm not 100% there. I'm not all the way there. I'm not ready yet, or I'm not in a position to make that type of a decision or commitment or whatever. So it's I guess all I'm trying to say there is just be cognizant of how your body is responding and how you're audibly responding, to be able to make that assessment for, hey, am I half-assed doing this? Am I giving 100%? I mean, even to the point where most recently I can remember thinking, okay, even though I do my daily devotionals, I try to do 20 to 30 minutes a day. That's simply because for me, that's what works, what I feel is good. But I can remember there was a stretch of about a week or so where I had gotten a cold, and so I had pulled back a little bit. I was a little bit tired, and so I pulled back a little bit, and so I could recoup, get my orange juice and all that fun stuff in. And I remember, but at the same time, I was like, I still wanted to do my devotional, and I felt like, well, shoot, I didn't make that happen. Like, and it's like, well, Claudia, for me, intrinsically, I'm like, I'm still talking to God. I'm still, acknowledging. I'm still thankful. I know I'm sick, but I know we're gonna get healed. We're gonna get over this, that kind of thing. And I was like, well, why do I feel like I'm missing out? And it was because I didn't have I'm assuming, this is me reflecting, but it's like I didn't have the amount of time that I wanted. It was like a smaller bite-sized time, but I had to give myself grace to be like, okay, well, you're sick. You need to sleep so you can make sure your body has the time to recover. You need to, replenish yourself, as far as just physically to be able to be present. And so I say that because I can remember thinking, I was like, well, I don't want him to think I'm pulling back or, not interested, and not because I'm still saying, I'm thankful for today. I'm thankful for being here. I have gratitude for it. All of that. And I know, it's just a matter of time before, I'm well again, but I did feel, it felt weird, I guess, because I guess I'm so used to it. It's a habit. It's a pattern that I do now. And so not having that time, it's like, well, Claudia, did you really do it? Like, I downloaded this habit tracker, and I'm not a big habit tracker person. Like, well, no, I take that back. I have my own modality. I usually use Airtable to do it. No, I ain't gonna front. Y'all know, Airtable's my thing. I do actually have Airtable where I do it, and it's like, Claudia, did you meet my threshold for myself is 70% or more. So if I did something 70% or more, that's good. That's acceptable. Of course, I'd want to go to 100, but 70% is my threshold. And I was doing it in Airtable, but then I wanted something on my phone. And yes, I have the app of Airtable on my phone, but I wanted something a little bit more flexible. And so I downloaded this habit tracker app. And one of the things you could do is you can say, you can make whatever your habits are that you want to keep, and you can have it alert you to say, hey, did you do your devotional time, and or did you do your, for me, like, steps, like I'm trying to get at least 8,000 steps a day, like you could do that, and it'll send you a reminder. You can even set up where it sends you this reminder, like if I do my devotional in the mornings, I could actually like think about whether or not so if I do my devotionals usually around 6:30 in the morning, and if I didn't do it, then I get the notification to say at like 8, hey, did you do your devotional? That way, if I sometimes don't get to the morning, and it's like later in the day and I forget to check it off, it still reminds me. But I'm saying that because I'm pretty sure some of y'all might be like, well, Claudia, that's been out there for forever. But for me, I never use it, so it's pretty cool. So it'd be like, did you do your, it's called daily kairos in my little, that's my devotional little message. Like, did you do your daily kairos for 20 or 30 minutes? And then I can open it down, and I can either check the yes or I can check the no. And then it allows you, like, if you're sick, like when I was sick, I had to put the dash, which means they're not going to count it in your overall score. But I just thought it was cool, and I'm playing with it. So I just found out about it. Y'all probably like I'm all late on the bus, but whatever. I'll take it for what it is. But yeah, I think that for me, just being, I'm in like a reflective state sometimes with not only with my devotional time, but like even with the kids, like making sure that I'm allowing them to flourish and allowing them to be themselves and make the mistakes and learn from those mistakes. And I think that sometimes I'm like, because my oldest one, she's getting ready older. Sorry, my mom will get on me because I don't have 3, I have 2. And so if I say oldest, like I'm the oldest of 3. If I say oldest, my mom's like, it's not oldest. You only have 2, so it's older. So there you go. Jamaican and my mother correcting me English. Thank you. So yeah, so my older is getting ready for college, and well, it's like, okay, does she have all the life skills that she needs? Does she know how to cook for herself? Can she do her own laundry? And like that's kind of my train of thought is like, am I allowing her to experience the things she should experience? Am I, like, it's that, I don't know. I have those moments too where I think about, I'm not a hoverer, I'm not a helicopter parent. I just want to make sure that she has what she needs to be ready. And I don't know. Y'all let me know if you have kids who've already gone off to college. What have been your sentiments around how you raise them? Like, do you have worries? Like, I worry. I be worrying. Should I worry when they be going to school? Every time I drop them off, I pray every day. Like, what, God, cover them, because people crazy. So yeah, I think that for me, it's been very reflective with not only how I've been raising the girls, even my younger one. Like, she has a very compassionate type of a personality, and making sure to continue to nurture that. Like, let me tell you something, and hold on, I gotta take a sip. Let me tell you something. On the way to get ready to film this, I say I love you all the time. Like, that's just how we roll. And I would just randomly, it's random. It's not like it has to be prompted or anything. And so we were walking out the door, and I told my older child, I was like, yeah, I was like, I love you. And she's like, love you too. And then I could tell my younger one was like, well, dude, what about me? And I'm like, man, she didn't say anything, but I could tell her disposition. She wanted to hear it. And my intent was to say it as well. And so I was like, you thought I forgot about you. And so I came over to her and I was like, I love you too, Poops. And and that's what I said. You said, you thought I wasn't going to say anything to you. She was like, But no, I mean we're very affectionate towards one another, and I can appreciate that. So it's like, it's just, I guess as a mom, it's really just making sure I'm allowing them to have the space to grow and to experience and to make those mistakes and learn from those mistakes and be comfortable enough to talk about it. Like, shoot, okay, I'll tell y'all something. I don't think I've mentioned this before. When it comes to the kids, we've said to them, when they turn 21, they have to come back home so that we could take a shot. Like, we'll take a shot together when they turn 21, or we'll go out to them if they're away for college, but whatever. So that's one thing that I thought was pretty cool. But and everybody's down for it, so I'm excited for when that time comes. But I think it's also cool I also told them, if ever you feel like, something happened and you may feel uncomfortable either talking to me, talking to you, or vice versa, talking to your dad, like let one of us know. We're always here for you, and don't be scared don't feel like you may be scared trying to say what you're trying to say, but don't feel like you're not able to say it, right? And so it's trying to instill a level of comfort for them, a level of trust, a level of acceptance as well, and understanding that it's important to communicate. So I don't know. It's just, like I said, it's a bit reflective of me. Devotional time, being able to, or questioning and making sure I'm good as far as how I'm raising the girls. I say me, but I have a partner too and family around me. But this is, you and I talking, so that's my take on it. The other thing I want to mention, I think that okay, so it's about to be football season, y'all. Hence Ravens. I'm totally stoked. Y'all have no idea. And so I'm looking forward to football. So 3 of us out of 4 like football. My younger one is just like me, she'll watch it, she'll fall asleep, she don't care. But I find that part fun. Like when football season's done, they'd be like, "What the hell are we gonna watch?" I'm not a basketball person. I definitely don't like baseball. So it's like footballs are that the majority of us like. But even the younger one, my younger daughter, even the fact that she'll just sit there with us sometimes and watch it is cool. But then we start planning food around it. And I'm saying that because it's fun, because it gives us a time to just continue to bond. I mean, we cook together sometimes too, but like football season's like a real thing. And I tease because my other daughter sometimes has cheer practice during games. It's like, dang it. So I just watch it on my phone. But I mean, I don't know, just think about how you show up and how you show up for your friends, how you show up for your family, how you show up for yourself. And be sure to take the time for you. Get comfortable, pour a glass of wine, bourbon, whatever your libation or beverage of choice is, and just journal, write. I find for me, or if you're a video person, video. I find for me that doing that helps me to process. Because of course I can think in my head, no issues. But then sometimes just writing it out, or even audio or voice recording myself, is beneficial. Because then when I go back and I was like, oh, that's how I was feeling. Oh, I was thinking about that. Like, I'm actually looking forward to picking up Elijah again in the future to compare where, the questions that I was answering, to compare what I was saying then versus what I'll be saying a few years from now. So all I'm saying is take the time to reflect. Take the time to take care of you. Bold Moves Bestie, let me know in the comments do you take a you vacation? And if you do, how do you do it? I'll catch you on the next episode of She Built Success. Bye.